Schaefer, who did not look even remotely fazed to have been caught attempting to make off with a piece of ridiculously expensive CIA-owned hardware, was scowling at him. "Can you fly this thing?" he asked. "Probably better than you can," Garber responded. "Then get in," Dutch ordered and swung himself into the passenger side of the cockpit. Garber strode forward. "Now just hold on a minute, I ought to fucking arrest..." But Dutch cut him off. "We don't have time to discuss this right now. Either get in or stay there. I don't care." Garber considered calling for backup, but knew Dutch would be well away before he even got a chance to explain the situation. So he got in on the pilot's side, and 30 seconds later, they were airborne. A minute after that, they were circling the area where the alien hunter had last been seen, parts of which now resembled a war zone. With fires burning here and there, when the ground below them heaved, and a vast subterranean behemoth rose screaming from the bowels of the city and swatted the helicopter as though it was nothing more than a troublesome dragonfly. As the chopper was thrown into a violent spin and Garber fought to regain control, he caught glimpses of the mayhem below and realized what was really happening. An alien ship was launching itself out of the sewers, tearing the ground apart and causing a massive updraft of air, which had caught the helicopter in a vortex of dust and debris. Dutch gripped the closest available anchors and clenched his jaw as Garber attempted to ride out the wave. His experiences in Vietnam and elsewhere had made him highly resistant to pain and almost impervious to the debilitating effects of fear. But he cursed as he watched the alien ship tear out of the Earth's atmosphere at an incredible speed and disappear into the night sky. He was dedicated to hunting down and killing as many of these goddamn predators as he could, and salvaging what he could of their weapons and technology. And he wondered how many more chances he'd get. After his first encounter with one of the hunters a decade earlier, he'd undergone intense physical therapy, and he still took plenty of medication to ward off the effects of radiation and keep him fully functional. If he ever screwed up on those meds, it would be goodnight Vienna. And after surviving God knows how many brushes with violent death over the years, radiation sickness would be a really dumb way to die. As the air settled in the wake of the alien ship's ascent and Garber wrestled back control of the helicopter, Dutch looked down through the transparent bubble of the cockpit and was amazed to see a figure squirming on the ground below. It was lying on the very edge of the crater caused by the emergence of the alien hunter's craft, and even as he watched, he saw it sit up and tilt back its head to stare into the night sky. "Holy shit, that's Harrigan," Garber exclaimed. "How the hell did he survive?" He sounded affronted. Dutch only cared that he'd gotten here too late and his mission had been reduced to little more than a salvage operation, and with cops and regular army grunts about to descend on the scene like ants onto a picnic, even that was in jeopardy. Picking up the headphones that had been ripped from his head during their impromptu roller coaster ride, he barked into the mouthpiece, "Set it down, Garber. This is where I get off." Garber glanced across at him. "What? I don't know if you should..." "You're not my boss, and if whatever got left behind falls into the wrong hands, you'll be in even deeper shit than you are already. Now put us down." Garber wanted to argue, but everything had gone wrong. Harrigan had slowed them down, and if any of the OWLF team got out of this alive, aside from Garber himself, it would be a miracle. He didn't want Dutch to get hold of whatever alien tech might have been left down there, but in some ways he was the best available option, and with a cordon around the area, there was no way he'd be able to sneak through their lines, which meant they could always pick him up later. Garber landed the chopper as close as he could to ground zero, intending to gather together any surviving members of OWLF he could find and head off in search of Harrigan. Cutting off the engine, he turned to Dutch, only to find that the ex-mercenary had already thrown open the door of the chopper and jumped to the ground. "Hey, don't I even get a thank you?" Garber called as Dutch set off at a run. Moments later, the big man had melted into the shadows. "Guess not," Garber murmured, stepping down from the chopper as the approaching whir of army helicopters and the wail of police sirens increased in volume. Walking briskly